And any true artist in that sense is always going to be the harshest critic, not in that oh no kind of sense, but in that sense of you're going to spot the areas where you go, next time I need to pay a bit more attention to that thing, right? And you'll always be doing that. I do that with my videos. I do that with my scripts. I've done that all my life with basically everything that I do. My wife teases me sometimes. She's like, it's what does it take for you to be happy? I'm like, actually, it's very simple for other people to make me happy, but it's very difficult for me to be happy with my work.
Yeah.
That's actually those are two very different things.
That's the perfectionist curse.
And I don't think it's perfectionism. I think it is a willingness to say, I'm not yet at the absolute top of my game. I'll give you an example. I was asked or invited to run a significant session at an upcoming conference. And I've worked with these people before. I did a really good job the first time around. That's where Battleground Melbourne Live came from, and that was very well received. And I mean, you were there.
I was in it. You
were in it. And so they came back to me and said, hey, listen, we're not doing Battleground Melbourne Live again, but what else have you got? I said, well, okay, I can work on something like this. And I laid out a plan, and I said, okay, you go do that. I spent the last month working on that in every corner of moment of time that I could find in between podcasts and videos and family and everything else. And I worked and reworked it. And I could not get to a point where I believed in this session, where I went, yes, this is good. This is up to my standard. And so I had a conversation 2 days ago with the conference organizer and just said, look, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. It's in your interest. We need to pull the plug on this session.
Yeah.
Was it going to be a bad session? No. Was it going to be up to my standards? No.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to deliver something that's not up to my standards. And here's why. You're familiar with the idea that in let's say, the corporate world or in politics or in the public service, everyone gets promoted to their level of incompetence.
Yeah.
So what that means for those that may not be familiar with this idea is if someone comes into an organization and does a really good job at that bottom rung, you promote them. And they do a really good job, you promote them. They do an okay, mediocre job, but they've got such a good reputation that they still get that next promotion. Now they're in a job where they're no longer doing a good job. It's above their level of competence.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. But now you're stuck with them. You either fire them and get rid of a good worker, a good person who was wonderful in other roles and get rid of them out of the organization altogether, or you leave them there in a position where they're floundering and doing damage.
Yeah.
And this idea, everyone gets promoted to their own level of incompetence. But there's a reverse thing that happens for people like you and I, where we're not employees. We are essentially freelancers. We're out there just doing stuff. And we do something that's really amazing, like Battleground Melbourne Live. I consider that to be one of the greatest triumphs of my artistic storytelling career, right? And then people go, that was incredible. What else have you got? Well, that was my top shelf idea. So I now have to reach to the next shelf down.
Yeah.
Right? And if I allow everything to get plucked off all the good shelves, and then I still say yes to the person that goes, oh, what else have you got? Now I'm pulling a rubbish idea out.
Yeah.
Something that isn't up to that standard. And I end up destroying my own reputation and destroying my own legacy and my own work because I went for too much volume over quality. And so this was me recognizing, you know what? In that on-stage environment, I only ever want to do top shelf.
Yeah.
Right, in my videos on YouTube, we've talked about this before. It's a mass market game. It's a numbers game. It's a quantity over quality game. In that space, I do what I have to do in order to just keep churning out content. Fine. And I've got a certain minimum quality that I hold myself to, but fundamentally, I'm getting stuff out the door. In that on-stage context where people are paid money and given an evening to come and travel to whatever that event is and put a bum in a seat, I will not disrespect them with anything less than my absolute best. And if I'm sitting there going, you know what? This isn't up to my standard, I'll pull the plug. And I did that literally 2 days ago on this session. And I think that's ultimately that trait. You have it. I have it. We have that combined with work rate. So we work our asses off. We hold ourselves to a very high standard. And that's why I have the confidence that I have that this podcast, you individually in your career, me in my own with the TOFA project and everything else, but also us together in this podcast, we are going places. Because that's a powerful combination of things.
I think so. And that's why I'm like going to the nth degree with my my exhibition. Because even my lecturer was like, because he's never seen anyone like it. Because again, and I say this, I'm not trying to disparage people. I'm just saying like a lot of people who go and pursue further education, they're not commercially minded. So they're always doing it from the broke uni student mindset. And so,
or from the teat-sucking grant recipient.
Yes, or I need a grant. And that one mentor session that I got from the woman was like, oh, here's all the grant websites that you go to. And I was like, I'm not filling out masses of paperwork to maybe get money.
No.
And, you know, I think I showed you and this is the last day to get them. So here's me I'm going to grift. Ready? It's me grifting, not you for once.
How the world changes.
So this is my website. I gave it a little refresh quickly. But I built like a little landing page for the project so people can jump on and, if it loads, and have a look. And then down here, I've got my hoodies for sale, and it's the last day. So if you want to go get a hoodie.
Yeah.
But my reason of doing a hoodie
rebellion
is literally like, you know, if someone buys a hoodie, I get the profit and the profit goes to the exhibition. It's a tangible thing that people get. It's not a donation.
Yeah.
And my lecturer was like, I've never seen anyone do this before. I'm like, what do you mean? How do these people pay for it? Or they do a really mediocre exhibition, right? And it's crap, and then it doesn't get the attention that it deserves. And not to say that they didn't have great ideas, but it doesn't go anywhere. And so I'm like, you have to be resourceful. You have to go above and beyond outside of,
and you have to back yourself. You have to back yourself. I did a conference in Albury last year. Because I believe that there is demand for it in Albury. I believe that there is demand for really good, high-quality speakers travelling into regional centres. Usually it's the capital cities that get these sort of big events, the big speakers, all of that. And I went, no, I'm going to try and break that mould. I know a lot of people that organise all the big conferences around Australia, and they said to me, look, it's not going to work. I said, well, have you tried it? No, because it doesn't work. I went, well, if no one's tried it, who was the first person who actually gave it a go and went, oh, that didn't work, right? Like, I couldn't find that person. So I went, okay, I'm going to give it a go. Now, I stuffed up a couple of things. I made the decision to go ahead with it too late. I didn't have enough lead time to get the word out. My marketing budget, this is the first time I'd ever run a conference, my marketing budget was not well used, and that's on me, because I didn't yet understand where the ROI was going to be. Yeah. So we lost weeks of time and tens of thousands in marketing budget not getting results to finally, belatedly at the last minute, discover something that kind of worked. Yeah. But by then, time was gone and money was gone. And I went too big on the conference. It was a 2.5 day conference. I could have done it as a 1.5 day conference and saved myself a chunk of money. But it became very obvious we're going to lose a lot of money on this conference. We're not going to sell the tickets. That became obvious weeks before the event. And obviously, I still worked on trying to fix that, but it was like, I can't count on this being fixed. If I'm going to lose money, I have a choice to make. Do I keep spending money and make it a great conference and just accept that I'm copying the hit? Or do I try and cut the budget and cut corners, all the rest of it, and then it ends up feeling like the budget was cut? Yeah, because it always will. And I made the decision that we were going to back ourselves and just spend the money. Yeah, that remains. We had current and former politicians, prime ministers, deputy prime ministers, industry leaders. We had high level academics in economics and other disciplines flying into Albury, staying in Albury for a couple of nights, coming to the conference, speaking at the conference, and obviously all of the conference attendees. We flew in about 40 people and accommodated them and all the rest of it.
You paid?
We paid for all of that.
Yeah, that's where all your money goes.
And they still, when I talk to them, they say to me, when are you doing another conference? That was incredible. The people that came to the conference, when are you doing another conference? That was incredible. Yeah. And so I maintained the integrity of my brand and what I do. And I chose to take the financial hit. That cost me $70,000. Yeah. Right? Now, could I do it again and make money on it? Probably. Am I going to do it again soon? Probably not, because it hurt and we're still trying to recover from that. We didn't have $70,000 to lose, to be clear. Yeah. That put us in a world of hurt, and we're still getting out of that now. But what I didn't do was compromise on the quality of what I was creating. And that's what you're talking about with your exhibition. Yeah. The temptation is to go, well, I won't spend the money because I don't need to. And it's only, it's you can every single one of those decisions you can rationalize. Yeah. And yet the end result is that what you've said about yourself and your brand and your quality of work and your care for the people that show up, because that was the thing for me. There are people, sure, the guests, the speakers are on my dime. But there are people who aren't just buying tickets to the conference. They're traveling hours in the car from remote inland wherever and they're paying for accommodation and to come to this conference. They're putting $1,000, $1,500 by the time that's petrol and accommodation and everything else into being here. Am I going to disrespect them by cutting corners?
That's the cost of trying to go against the grain too. So I know a lot of people talk about this from the right side of the fence. A lot of people are talking about the protests, for example.
Yeah.
And that is a mess. I have no idea how that's going to go this weekend. But I see people going, oh, well, let's just organise something. I'm like, what people fail to understand is I don't want to say there's procedures. There's no necessarily right way of doing it. But big things take a lot of planning, a lot of preparation, a lot of permits.
A lot of time.
A lot of consideration, and a lot of it's messaging. And I try not to pop people's, enthusiasm with reality checks, but then you don't do that and it becomes a spectacular disaster, and you sort of go, oh, shit. And you don't want someone to have such a disaster that they never try again.
Yeah, yeah.
But you also want to be like, hey, we've kind of been through this before. Like, let me help you. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but learn from someone who's been there.
Learn from my mistakes so you don't have to learn from your own.
And a big part of why the left, I think, have been so successful is because they have worked together to build a brand. And that's all I care about. That's all my career's been caring about, brand. The left have very good brands.
Their focus, though, because this is shifting, their focus was on their common enemy.
Correct.
And they put aside their differences because the common enemy was bigger. Now that they've kind of won in many, many measurable ways, they're dominant ideology now. They've got our politics, they've got our corporate space, they've got our arts and entertainment, they've got our news and media, they've got our celebrity class. They've kind of won. And so now the differences between them outweigh the size of the enemy.
Hey guys, thanks for watching another short clip from The Oddcast. If you want to watch the full video, it's over on YouTube at The Oddcast HQ, and you can see more from me and Topher over there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep up with us in the comments.